Hi, Alan Stratton from As Wood Turns. Last Saturday I went to the Portland Saturday Market. There were a lot of nice arts and crafts there, much of it not quite my style, but I appreciate the few wood workers and wood turners that were there. But I do appreciate when I can get an idea from another type of craft. One of those was a ceramic shop, where I saw something that reminded me of a natural edge turning. So I decided that I could not let the ceramics people have all the fun, so I decided to turn a somewhat natural edge, except it's not, tea light. This is a square bowl with a LED tea light embedded in the bottom in a second piece that is the base. So, not to let the ceramics have all the fun, let's make an LED tea light square bowl. I milled this piece of cedar to have parallel sides with good cuts on the end. I did not worry too much about the size, but it is about 8 by 4.5 by 3. I considered mounting it with a screw chuck, but decided that with the timber dimensioned so perfectly, I could simply close the scroll chuck and place the wood on the top surface of the jaws. Of course, it would fall off if left alone, so I brought up the live center to hold it securely. The point for the live center is marked to the absolute center. I'll cut a tenon and shape the exterior in this mounting. Turning this project will be very much like a natural edge bowl. A lot of cutting air. Not much chance to ride the bevel here. I decided on an ogee shape for the exterior. I'll work mostly on the upper cove, then move to the lower reverse curve. The wood is like a propeller. I'm making sure my hands stay on my side of the tool rest. After most of the wood is removed, I'm switching to a shear scrape or plane scraping with a round nose scraper. Before I reverse mount this piece, I'll sand and finish the exterior, in case I cannot return to this mount. There's a lot of sanding, but not much with the lathe on. I finished it with my mix of mineral oil and beeswax. With the tea light reversed, it's still much like a natural edge project. A lot of air between contact with the wood. For safety, I still must be absolutely careful to stay on my side of the tool rest. The spinning wood would remind me if I get careless. I'm cutting it to size in sections to avoid the wood flexing too much. First the outer couple of inches, then the next couple of inches, then the center. Even with that, I was not entirely successful. The wood started to flex and I got some heavy chatter marks in the bowl. I tried to smooth them out at high speed with a scraper. Finally, I'll measure the size of the LED tea light and mark the center of the wood before cutting a hole with a round nose scraper. Then a lot of sanding, then finishing with beeswax and mineral oil. I did not want the LED light to just sit on the bottom of the bowl shape. So far, I've cut a hole in the bottom that is in the center of the mounting tenon. I'll use this tenon as a joint tenon to a hollow small base component. This is another chunk of cedar that I've mounted into the middle of my squirrel chalk jaws. I'll cut a tenon on this piece so that I can reverse it onto the jaws. With the base now mounted securely in the jaws, I can drill a shallow hole for the LED light. Then cut a mortise to match the base of the bowl. Unfortunately, I got a little too big. No worries, I just cut it back a little, retaining a mark where it was too big, and tried again. This time it fits, but since I cut it back more, I had to drill out just a little bit more. Then on to shape the remainder of the base, first with a skew. Then a lunch break. Afterward, I decided to cut a cove in the base to dress it up just a little bit. For this part, I used a small gouge. I also hollowed the bottom just a little bit. After sanding, I parted it off, then sanded the bottom side with a drill press. After a short session with the buffing system, it's ready. I could not let the ceramics guys have all the fun. It has a light, delicate feel. I really like these LED tea lights for a nice accent. It's definitely not a beginner's project, but a good one to practice for a natural edge bowl. That's all for this week's video. Please like this video. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to both my website and YouTube channel. Always wear your full face shield. Goggles are not enough. Until next time, this is Alan Stratton from As Wood Turns.